Well, and with that, we should bring our first speaker who is here to welcome all of you.
Yeah, and so our first speaker, Frederick Kautz, he is the co-chair, one of the co-chairs of KubeCon in Detroit and now Amsterdam as well. And also Frederick is, he's a SPIFFE steering committee member. He wrote an amazing book called The Bottom Turtle. So he's also an author. He's been a Cloud Native Containers community member for as long as I've been running that user group. We didn't really introduce ourselves, but we can do that after.
We can do that after.
I'm Lisa, that's Danielle. I'm with Cockroach Labs. Danielle's with Fairwinds, and you'll hear from us throughout the day. But in our full-time job, we're community members, community organizers, and huge open source advocates. And so speaking of open source, Frederick has also been in open source community forever. He's an expert in security and day zero stuff. So he is here to welcome us and kick off our event. Hi, Frederick.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, with that, we will remove ourselves and share your slides, Frederick. Thank you.
Classic. So first, in terms of, first I want to thank everyone for attending. That was such a great introduction. I'm going to skip my little intro. I will mention though that part of what I've been doing is spending time making KubeCon at the best that I can make it, along with two other great co-chairs. And we have the next one coming up in Amsterdam that I've been heavily involved with. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing some of you out there. Please come and find me and say hello if you happen to be heading out there. And also, this is my book that I wrote with several other people on SPIFFE, and it talks about zero trust identity. So I've listed the book here, and we'll make sure the slides get out and the link gets out if you're interested in it. And I do want to point out it is Creative Commons, that it is a Creative Commons licensed book, so you're free to use content from here in other areas as long as you give it attribution. So with that, I would like to let's jump into some of the material. So first, I want to say I am thrilled that you all are here. We have such an amazing lineup of speakers, and also if you can make me big, because I don't have any more slides to show, and that'd be good. So we do have an amazing lineup of speakers, and we're excited to talk about the various things necessary in order to bring a cloud native application into a zero trust environment, and how to actually build and design and deploy into that. Some of the key topics you'll hear about include cluster, will include how to secure access to your cluster, how to manage your communication with your cluster, and how to define policies, and also how to manage your TLS certificates. So get ready for a day filled with some awesome insights. But before we dive into the details of zero trust, let's consider what trust really means in the context of software. So can trust be an intrinsic property of the software we write, or must it be constantly earned and validated through rigorous security measures? And if so, under what conditions is a system considered to be trusted? So consider that even if you can mathematically prove the properties of your software, we still have to ask under what context the software is being designed to operate and on behalf of who. So most importantly, remember this: trust is a decision. When you bank online, you send patches to GitHub, or you press the brakes on your car, we are trusting that the software performing the work and the agents they represent have taken the sufficient measures to earn that trust. So in fact, you may even say the trust is not a binary. It's not a trust or don't trust decision. We have varying degrees of trust with several imperfect and incomplete inputs that we use that lead to a gradient of how much we should trust something, or how much suspicion we should put in the process, technology, person, or organization. So when we talk about zero trust, we're not talking about no trust. Instead, we're trying to reason about trust. We are essentially asking about a shift of mindset from the traditional assumptions of trust is trust because it's in a network, or trust because it comes from this specific application, to one of constant verification and validation of properties such as what is your identity, what is your access level. So zero trust when you reason about it from that perspective, is a security model that assumes that all resources, both inside and outside the network, are untrusted until proven otherwise. This means that every access request, every communication, and every action must be authenticated, authorized, and encrypted. In other words, zero trust is a decision, is that word again? It is a decision to assume that trust cannot be inherently granted to any system, even if it's in the boundaries of a trusted network. And by adopting a zero trust approach, we aim to build a more secure and trustworthy system that can withstand the increasing complex and sophisticated threats that we face today. So while the concept of if the concept of trust may seem abstract or philosophical, it is actually a critical component of your zero trust security model. And by understanding the decision-based nature of trust, we can better appreciate the need for the things that zero trust brings to us, such as that constant validation, that constant verification of identity and access, which is really at the heart of zero trust. And finally, I also wanted to share some exciting news. So Lisa has told me that for every registration to the KubeCrash conference, a donation will be made to support Ukrainian relief. It's important for us to give back to those in need, and we all want to thank you for your support in helping us make a difference. So you will not only be learning about zero trust today, but you will also be making a positive impact in the world for people who desperately need it. So again, thank you for joining us, and let's get started.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Frederick. Yes, I did forget to mention that for every person who registered today, which is a lot, by the way, not registered today, registered up until today, we are donating to charity organizations supporting Ukraine. So thank you for your contribution. Thank you so much, Frederick. Also, thank you for battling the storms in the Bay Area. I know you lost your power. Frederick is doing this from a hotspot on his phone. We really appreciate it. That's the kind of dedication that makes KubeCrash great. Thank you so much, Frederick. And maybe we'll bring Frederick back later for Q&A, but thank you for helping us kick off our event in such a special way.